Hey, it's Scouter Mark here with the Peel MedVets. Today, in our very first Scoutcraft video, we're going to be talking about fire building. So what kind of things we need to make a fire and have a nice, successful, hot fire. So some things that we're going to need cutting implements like an axe or knife, some tinder, some kindling, some fuel logs, and of course a bucket with water or some sand. Okay, so the three things that we're going to need to actually start this fire is tinder, kindling, and of course the fuel. So for the tinder, you can use things like this old nest, something nice and dry, right? That's going to catch your flame. The idea of tinder is that it's actually going to be the starting point, and it's going to be what catches your flame. Some of the things we could also use: bits of sawdust, bits of wood chips. You can use things like cotton balls, bits of cotton that have been left lying around. One of the cheat ways and really good things to use is dryer lint. In fact, when I do one of my next videos, it's going to be on a fire starting kit, and you'll see one of the items I always carry around is a bit of dryer lint. Highly flammable, catches a spark, it's beautiful as tinder. One of the other cheats you can actually use is cotton balls, and what you can do is get yourself a bit of Vaseline. You put a little bit of Vaseline on the end of the ball, and you've got a very highly flammable tinder. Fantastic, good cheat. Okay. Other things that we could use, we can use little bits of sticks. Those work well. Okay, we've got a number of little sticks here. One of the ones that you'll find at all the scout camps, we have leaves. So breaking up bits of leaves, bits of nice dry leaves work really well. Okay. Paper, so things like paper towel. Paper towel is a beautiful thing to use. Newspaper. Newspaper is probably my favorite. So tearing strips of newspaper, long thin strips, they catch the flame really well also. Okay. Of course, Kleenex, toilet paper, things like that, fine papers, or even strips of white paper, just torn into long thin strips. Those also work really well. Okay, so that's our tinder. The next thing we're going to use is our kindling. So kindling's a little bit bigger. Kindling is this size as a minimum. Okay, so broken sticks. You need it to be what's going to hold the flame for a couple of minutes until your fuel logs actually kick in. So you need like twigs, nice dry twigs. You can make yourself some pieces, okay, by taking your knife and splitting it. Okay, so stuff like this. This all makes good kindling. Okay, and finally, you're going to need your fuel. So once your fire's actually going, you're going to use pieces of split wood, roughly this size. Okay, maybe even a little bit thinner. And as you build your fire up, you're going to end up with the logs. And once you have the logs in, your fire will be good and hot. So one of the things we can do if we don't have a lot of tinder and we need to make up some tinder, we can get ourselves a piece of wood, okay, like this piece of cedar here. Take your knife, okay, plant it firmly on the ground. What you're going to do is work your knife down like this until you get curls. Okay. You can make it as fine or as thick as you'd like. Okay, once you've got yourself a bunch of good curls, okay, see, just like that. Okay, the other thing you can do is if you want to make some bigger pieces, so kindling shape, you can just take it, okay, break yourselves off some slightly bigger pieces. Okay. Okay, so we've taken our tinder, We've built that up. We've got a really big bed of tinder here. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to progressively build this up. So we're going to spark it, let it catch, and then start to put the kindling on. Okay, and the way we're going to do this today, I'm going to use a fire steel. So I'm going to take the fire steel and put it down here, and we're going to pull. Okay, and as you can see now we have a flame. We're going to wait until our kindling starts to catch. In. As you can see, by having a lot of good tinder, it's giving us a bit of time to work with here. Okay, so I'm going to put my kindling on. And we're just going to gradually build it up. And in general, what we want to try to do, it's easier if you can build it into a bit of a pyramid. Okay, the better pyramid you build, the quicker it's going to build up. Okay. All right, so this part takes a little bit, and just taking into consideration the length of this video, we've sped it up for you a bit. But as you can see, we have a little bit of wind that we're dealing with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it with some more kindling, even a little bit of tinder here and there, some of the smaller stuff to help the kindling actually catch. I'll blow sometimes at the base, so allowing the oxygen to get to the base of the fire to help build up the flames. But the thing you don't want to do here is just start tossing on some heavier materials like your logs, like your quarters, stuff like that. We're just going to patiently work with it. Just giving it little bits to feed on. Okay, blow on it a little bit, fan it a little bit. And as time goes on, you can, and the flames start getting bigger, you can start adding to it. So adding slightly bigger kindling. And as you can see, our flames are getting bigger. And now I'll start to add some even bigger stuff. And the whole point here is to try to get that larger stuff to catch now. Okay, so just to conclude this video, what we're going to do is talk about how to put out your fire. So it's very, very important that when your fire is done and you're finished and you're ready to turn in for the night, or you're going to be leaving your campsite, you're going to have your bucket of water or bucket of sand, and you're going to pour it over your fire, making sure that it's really well doused. Okay? Once you've got it well doused, you're going to break apart all your wood. and you're going to douse it again to make sure everything's out. Alright, so as you can see, with a little bit of preparation, a lot of patience, you too can have a nice warm fire, especially on these beautiful snowing days in May. Anyway, I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or contact me directly. Thanks for watching.